On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected.
Thank you to all our amazing channel members for your generous support.
Some voices don't just sing songs, they become part of your life, riding in car radios, late nights, and long memories. Glenn Lewis Frey was born on November 6, 1948, in Detroit, Michigan. As a teenager, he played in local bands and even backed Bob Seger, learning early how tough and beautiful the music world could be. His rise began in Los Angeles in the early 1970s when he co-founded the Eagles with Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Meisner. Their harmonies and California sound changed popular music. Songs like Take It Easy, which Frey co-wrote, made the band instantly recognizable. Then came Hotel California in 1976, an album that became one of the best-selling records in history. Frey's voice led classics like New Kid in Town, Lion Eyes, and Heartache Tonight. After the Eagles split, he built a strong solo career in the 1980s with hits like The Heat Is On and You Belong to the City, becoming part of film and television culture, too. Away from fame, Glenn Frey was more complex than his cool image suggested. He was deeply loyal to family and friends, and one lesser-known side of him was his love for storytelling. He believed songs should feel like short movies, with characters, emotion, and truth. He also acted, appearing in shows like Miami Vice, showing he wasn't afraid to try new roads. Glenn Frey died on January 18, 2016. He was 67 years old. He passed away in New York City after complications from rheumatoid arthritis, acute ulcerative colitis, and pneumonia. His body had been fighting for a long time, and in the end, it simply could not fight anymore. When the news broke, the world reacted with shock and sadness. Fans shared lyrics, memories, and road trip stories. Fellow musicians called him a brother, a leader, and a voice of a generation. The Eagles released a statement saying they had lost a part of their soul. Today, Glenn Frey is remembered as one of the voices that defined modern American music. His songs still play on radios, in movies, and in moments when people need comfort or courage. The Eagles' music continues to connect generations who were never alive when those songs were first released, yet feel them as if they were written yesterday. He sang about love, loss, dreams, and freedom. And long after the music fades, Glenn Frey still rides with us down every open road. Some faces stay calm, even when the soul beneath them is breaking. And Kathleen Byron had one of those unforgettable faces. Kathleen Byron was born on January 10, 1921, in London, England. Her real name was Kathleen Elizabeth Fell. During World War II, while the world was falling apart, she trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, learning how to turn emotion into something powerful and precise. Her rise came quickly in British cinema. In 1946, she appeared in A Matter of Life and Death, playing a heavenly guide in a story that mixed fantasy with deep human feeling. But everything changed in 1947 with Black Narcissus. As Sister Ruth, a nun slowly consumed by jealousy, desire, and madness, Byron gave one of the most daring performances of her time. Her red lipstick, burning eyes, and trembling voice became legendary. The film won 2 Academy Awards, and her role became one of the most studied performances in classic cinema. She continued working with directors Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger in films like The Small Back Room, proving she could move from haunting intensity to quiet emotional depth. Off-screen, Kathleen Byron was very different from the wild characters she played. She was thoughtful, private, and deeply spiritual later in life. One lesser-known fact is that she spoke openly about mental health, especially after portraying characters who struggled emotionally. She believed acting should never glorify pain, only help people understand it. Kathleen Byron died on May 11, 2009. She was 88 years old. She passed away in London after a short illness. There was no scandal, no drama, just a quiet ending to a life that had once shaken movie screens with fire. When news of her death spread, film lovers and critics shared the same memory first. Sister Ruth on the cliff, eyes wide, soul unraveling. Tributes came from actors, directors, and classic film fans around the world. Many called her performance one of the bravest ever filmed, especially for a woman in the 1940s. Today, Kathleen Byron is remembered as a symbol of emotional courage in cinema. Her work is still shown in film schools, museums, and late-night screenings. She proved that beauty could be frightening, that silence could scream, and that one role could live forever. She didn't just act. She revealed what hides inside the human heart. Some actors don't chase fame. They let fame find them quietly, through years of honest, unforgettable work. Lois Nettleton was born on August 16, 1927, in Oak Park, Illinois. As a child, she loved listening to radio dramas and reading poetry aloud, already fascinated by the power of voice and emotion. Her career began on stage and in early television, but her face became familiar in American homes during the 1950s and 60s. She appeared in legendary series like The Twilight Zone, Route 66, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. In 1966, she made a strong impression in the film Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, playing the vulnerable Honey beside Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Later, she became widely known for her role as Joanne St. John on In the Heat of the Night, where she brought strength and quiet dignity to the small screen. Over decades, she moved easily between television, film, and theater, earning Emmy and Tony nominations along the way. Off-screen, Lois Nettleton lived far from Hollywood glamour. She never married and had no children, choosing instead to devote herself fully to acting. One lesser-known detail is that she was deeply interested in poetry and often performed poetic readings for small audiences, saying poetry kept her emotionally honest. Lois Nettleton died on January 18, 2008. She was 80 years old. She passed away in Woodland Hills, California, from pneumonia. Her death came quietly, without headlines, much like the private life she had always preferred. When the news spread, fellow actors and directors spoke of her kindness, discipline, and rare emotional intelligence. Fans remembered her not for one single role, but for the feeling she left behind. Warm, thoughtful, and real. Old episodes were replayed, and tributes appeared across television and theater communities. Today, Lois Nettleton is remembered as one of television's most reliable and heartfelt performers. She proved that fame isn't always loud. Sometimes it lives in steady work, honest emotion, and characters that feel like real people. Students of acting still study her performances for their simplicity and truth. She didn't try to shine brighter than others. She simply made every scene more human. He didn't just write songs, he helped define the soundtrack of a generation, and his voice still lives in the heart of rock history. David Van Cortlandt Crosby was born on August 14, 1941, in Los Angeles, California. Raised around music, his brother taught him guitar as a teen. He dropped an early interest in acting to follow a different rhythm, the call of folk and rock. Crosby's rise began in the mid-1960s as a founder of the Byrds, a band that turned folk into rock with pioneering sounds and hits like Mr. Tambourine Man. But he didn't stop there. In 1968, he joined Stephen Stills and Graham Nash to form Crosby, Stills, and Nash, later joined by Neil Young. Their harmonies, acoustic fire, and fearless songwriting helped define an era. Their debut album stayed on the charts for years and earned a Grammy for Best New Artist, while their second, Deja Vu, became a cultural milestone of the Woodstock generation. Throughout his career, Crosby also released acclaimed solo work, including his debut If I Could Only Remember My Name, and later albums that revealed his evolving artistry. Offstage, Crosby lived with passion and complexity. He fought public battles with addiction in the 1970s and 80s, even spending time in prison before turning his life around. He survived a liver transplant in the 1990s and later embraced collaboration with his son, James Raymond, forming the group CPR. He was also a father to several children, including those he helped bring into the world through other artists. A testament to both his creative generosity and tangled personal life. David Crosby died on January 18, 2023, at his home in Santa Ynez, California. He was 81 years old. His passing followed a long illness, and tributes began pouring in almost immediately. Fans, peers, and critics remembered him not simply as a musician, but as a fearless voice of honesty and harmony. Graham Nash spoke of Crosby's pure joy in creating music together, even through tumult and reconciliation, while Stephen Stills honored the unique role Crosby played in their sound. Today, David Crosby is remembered not just for the songs he sang or wrote, but for the way his harmonies shaped the soundtracks of change. His fingerprints are on albums that defined a generation, and his influence reaches musicians still exploring the edges of folk, rock, and soul. Some voices fade with time. His, rich, restless, and fearless, still sings in every corner of music that dares to be honest. Some stars shine quietly, not with noise, but with warmth that lingers long after the curtain falls. Nancy Coleman was born on April 28, 1912, in Everett, Washington. As a child, she showed a natural gift for performance, acting in local productions before most kids ever found their confidence. Her rise began in the 1930s when she moved to Hollywood and signed with Warner Brothers. She appeared in films like King's Row in 1942, standing beside some of the era's biggest names. But her true magic bloomed on stage and radio. She became widely loved as the warm, steady mother on the radio hit A Date with Judy. Later, television audiences remembered her from dramatic shows like The Twilight Zone, especially in the haunting episode The 16mm Shrine, where her emotional depth quietly stole the spotlight. Away from fame, Nancy was deeply devoted to the craft itself. She preferred theater over celebrity and often chose meaningful roles rather than glamorous ones. Later in life, she focused on teaching young actors, believing talent should be guided with patience. She once said that acting was not about being seen, but about making others feel something real. Nancy Coleman passed away on December 5, 1999. She was 87 years old. She died in Santa Barbara, California, after complications from pneumonia. There was no grand public spectacle, just a quiet goodbye to a woman who had spent her life giving emotion to others. News of her passing brought gentle tributes from actors, theater communities, and fans who remembered her kindness as much as her talent. Many spoke of her as a mentor, a steady presence, and a performer who never chased fame but earned respect. Today, Nancy Coleman is remembered as one of those rare artists who made every role feel honest. From radio to film, from Broadway to television, she carried emotion with grace. Her performances still live on in old recordings, classic shows, and in the hearts of actors she once taught. Not every star needs to burn loudly. Some glow softly, and in that quiet light, they are never truly forgotten. Some men are born for quiet lives, but others seem carved from adventure, destined to stride through stories like living legends. Jack Holt was born on May 31, 1888 in Winchester, Virginia. Before cameras ever found him, he worked on ships and in the wilderness, building the rugged presence that would later define his screen image. His rise began in the silent film era, when his tall frame, steady eyes, and commanding voice made him perfect for adventure and war stories. He became a major star at Columbia Pictures, leading films like Flight in 1929, where he played a tough Marine officer, and The Eagle and the Hawk in 1933, one of Hollywood's earliest serious films about the emotional cost of war. Again and again, audiences trusted him as the man who could face danger without fear. He didn't need flashy charm. His strength was calm, controlled, and believable. Away from the screen, Jack Holt was not chasing Hollywood parties. He loved the outdoors, especially sailing. He spent long hours at sea, finding peace far from studios and spotlights. Friends said he was quieter than his tough guy roles suggested, thoughtful and private, happiest when the wind and water were his only company. Jack Holt died on January 18, 1951. He was 62 years old. He passed away in Hollywood, California, after suffering a heart attack. His death came quietly, without spectacle, the way he often lived, strong, steady, and without drama. The news spread quickly through Hollywood. Studios, actors, and fans remembered him as one of the great pillars of early American cinema. Newspapers called him the screen's reliable hero, a man audiences had trusted for decades. There were no scandals to overshadow his name, only respect. Today, Jack Holt is remembered as a bridge between eras. He carried silent film strength into the age of sound. He showed that heroes did not need to shout to be powerful. His films still speak of courage, duty, and quiet resolve. In a world of changing fame, his image remains timeless, a man standing firm when everything around him shakes. Some stars fade loudly, others leave like a steady tide, pulling back slowly, yet shaping the shore forever. Jack Holt was that kind of star. Some faces from early cinema still whisper through time, reminding us how fragile fame is and how lasting true presence can be. Gertrude Olmsted was born on July 25, 1900, in Chicago, Illinois. As a teenager, she worked as a model and beauty contestant, once winning a major newspaper beauty competition that quietly changed her destiny. Her rise came during the golden age of silent film. She entered Hollywood in the early 1920s, when faces mattered as much as talent. One of her most important roles came in John Ford's epic western The Iron Horse in 1924, a film that helped define American frontier storytelling. She followed it with leading roles in films like The Dixie Flyer and The Ace of Cads, where her calm strength and expressive eyes made her more than just decoration on screen. She was not loud or theatrical. Her power was subtle, carried in glances and stillness. For several years, she was a familiar name on theater marquees across the country. Away from the camera, Gertrude Olmsted lived a life far quieter than her screen image. She eventually married director Robert Z. Leonard, one of Hollywood's respected filmmakers. After stepping away from acting, she chose privacy over publicity, raising a family and rarely speaking about her years in front of the lens. Many fans never realized she had simply chosen another life. Gertrude Olmsted died on January 3, 1975. She was 74 years old. She passed away in Los Angeles, California, from natural causes after years spent away from the public eye. Her death did not come with headlines or grand ceremonies. When news of her passing spread, classic film lovers and historians quietly remembered her. Old magazines reprinted her photos. Silent film fans shared still frames of her performances. Though the world had moved on, those who loved early cinema knew what had been lost. Today, Gertrude Olmsted is remembered as part of the delicate foundation of Hollywood. She helped build an art form when it was still learning how to speak without sound. Her performances remind us that emotion does not need words. Every time The Iron Horse or her other films are restored and shown again, she lives once more. She represents the many artists who shone brightly, then stepped away, leaving behind only light. Some stars burn loud, others glow softly, long after the screen has gone dark. Gertrude Olmsted was a soft light, and it still shines. Some men shape history quietly, yet their final day still echoes, reminding us how one life can alter a nation's direction forever. John Tyler was born on March 29, 1790, in Charles City, County, Virginia. He grew up on a plantation and was already reading law as a teenager, showing an early hunger for public life. His rise began in politics long before the presidency. He served in Congress, became a U.S. Senator, and later Governor of Virginia. In 1840, he was elected Vice President under William Henry Harrison. When Harrison died just 1 month after taking office, Tyler suddenly became president. There was no clear rule for this. Many thought he was only acting president. Tyler refused that title. He took full presidential powers, setting a precedent that still defines American government today. Though powerful in office, Tyler often stood alone. He vetoed bills from his own party, angering Congress and even getting expelled from the party that elected him. He signed the annexation of Texas, a decision that reshaped the nation's future and helped set the stage for conflict. Loved by few in Washington, he ruled with stubborn independence. In his personal life, Tyler was very different from his public image. He married twice and became the father of 15 children, more than any other U.S. president. He loved music, reading, and life at his Virginia home, Sherwood Forest, which he named after Robin Hood, believing he had been outlawed by politics. John Tyler died on January 18, 1862. He was 71 years old. He passed away in Richmond, Virginia, after suffering a stroke during the American Civil War. At the time of his death, he had sided with the Confederacy, making him the only former U.S. president to do so. Because of this, his death was treated very differently from others. There was no official mourning in Washington. His funeral was held under the Confederate flag, not the American one. Many in the North stayed silent. Many in the South honored him as a supporter of their cause. Today, John Tyler is remembered as a complicated figure. He protected the power of the presidency when the nation needed clarity. Yet his later choices divided his legacy. History does not see him as a hero or a villain alone, but as a man shaped by his time, his beliefs, and his pride. Every January 18th, his story reminds us that history is not made by perfect people. It is made by human ones, full of courage, flaws, and consequences that last long after their final breath.